Today, I want to talk about a super interesting article I saw yesterday posted on Twitter inside the chaotic 20 million FiveM acquisition. I'm going to leave the link in the description below. I strongly advise you to give it a click if you can. But if you're playing a quick game and just want someone to read out the article for you, then stick around. So, before we get started, you might already have guessed this is not scripted or anything. So if I stumble a little bit on my words, please bear with me. I don't do this very often. And secondly, I'm not super versed on FiveM or modders or RP stuff. I did try it for a while, but I'm not really good at RP, so I was kicked out pretty quickly. So I decided to just leave it alone. But I was super excited to see Rockstar, such a big company, acquiring a modders community and integrated them into the game, because modders is the people that actually keep some of these games alive by ingesting content and whatnot. So let's read out. It has been nearly a year since Rockstar Games acquired the entity behind FiveM, the largest online modification platform. So if you don't know what FiveM is, it's a bunch of modders that have content that runs alongside a copy of GTA Online, and they have a bunch of servers. And on these servers, there's modified cars and modified clothes and missions and maps and whatnot. And he adds a little bit more into the game. So if you don't want to play just a normal story or just confined to whatever it's online, you can just try to use one of these modifications. So FiveM is home to one of the most popular roleplay servers, boasting an average daily player base exceeding 100,000 active players. Along with RedM, Red Dead Online counterpart, enables players to engage with others in modified online sessions. Okay, so it's the definition was here. I didn't have to pull it out from my arse. Enables players to engage with others in modified online sessions and worlds, featuring custom missions, vehicles, maps, and more that are unavailable in the original base game. So prior to the acquisition, Rockstar Games and its parent company, Take-Two Interactive, attempted to close down the mod in 2015 by sending private investigators to the home of the mod's founder, known as NTA, citing concerns of piracy. It's amazing, because I understand that a lot of the times when you get modders, you can confuse them a little bit with cheaters and hackers and grifters and whatnot, which is people that just destroy the game. But in another way, it's kind of funny the way it's how do I put this? It's interesting the way we don't own any of these things. Even if we paid for the game, we're still not allowed to do whatever we want with the game. Now, something that I've always said, when it comes to online, you don't get to do that. You don't get to go around and then just modify it and then ruin the experience of other players. But when it comes to single player, you're free to do whatever you want. It's your game. You do whatever you want. It doesn't really matter. Who cares? So Rockstar Games has consistently opposed modifications to its games. Their parent company is known for issuing takedown notices for mods that infringe on their intellectual property, and has even initiated lawsuits against mod creators who fail to comply. Why? Because if they're modding something like money or something online and they're selling shark cards, of course it's going to infringe on their intellectual property, more in their pockets. Today we're proud to announce that, I'm guessing this is CFX RE. Yeah. So CFXRE, which is the guys that do the FiveM and RedM, the team behind the biggest Rockstar roleplay and creator communities, FiveM and RedM, are now officially part of Rockstar Games. Congratulations, guys. This acquisition news was a huge surprise to the community and to the founder, who was not involved in the acquisition negotiations from the start. Guessing he was probably not ahead of the company, maybe. In late 2022, there have been confidential discussions with Rockstar and Take-Two Interactive to sell the company. As the acquisition became more certain, the founder was informed and agreed to finalize the deal and not oppose it. Hey, listen, there's going to be a deal. You cannot oppose to this. One reason included fatigue from managing the company due to personal and work-related issues within the CFX.RE team. Or maybe it's like, if you can't beat them, buy them. I mean, what's 20 million for Rockstar? They probably do that in a couple of weeks in chart cards. Fast forward to August 9, 2023, after talks with various Rockstar employees, the acquisition is finalized. The founder sells CFX.RE, I'm just going to call them CFX, which easily generates 1.5 million a month. That's 1.5 million a month that Take-Two is not making. Therefore, let's buy them for so they bought them for an estimated $20 million. This acquisition ranks their second largest following Rockstar San Diego. They marked a new beginning for the CFX team with a larger and more influential Rockstar Games taking the helm and alleviating the founder of all this money and this team of the burdens and challenges within the company of managing such a huge amount of money. Listen, we'll take the company from you. We'll manage this for you. Crazy. I mean, to generate 1.5 million a month, I can only imagine how much money people are just throwing into this. Like, I'd say this is people donating to the servers and whatnot, buying ranks. I don't know exactly how you would make money from this, but you need to keep the servers alive. So, yeah. Anyways, Rockstar Games extended a warm welcome to the entire CFX team, inviting them to join the nearest Rockstar studio, to their home or remotely. Careful there, R2D2, as CFX had not previously operated from a physical location. Those who chose to work from home received encrypted work PCs and merchandise as a welcome. Thanks for joining us. I'm going to guess this is where things start going south. We own you now. You do what we say. Former FiveM dev. It's very excited to be linking up with Rockstar after having practically worshipped them for years. Even just talking to Rockstar officials, it was like talking to a celebrity every time. They're very professional and keep things neat. That's the thing. When you come to these modding communities, it's the love for the game, the love for the title, and everyone just want to perpetuate like the life cycle, not move to something else. And people do this on their free time sometimes. I'm sure some of these developers here like would probably have would be paid and whatnot. But it's just a lot of the times it comes with the love of the game. People are not doing this or don't start doing this because they're forced to. At least I don't think so. So 6 months post-acquisition, FiveM's founder was fired from Rockstar Games due to multiple irresponsible actions that violated contract terms, including serious complaints from team members and the temporary shutting down of the FiveM platform due to his emotional and mental state. This turmoil resulted in the acquisition payment being halved. Now, obviously, I don't think we will ever be able to confirm this, or it will be further down the timeline that we will be able to know what would this emotional and mental state are going to be. But I would be willing to bet a $5 that some of these things were generated, because if all this came down to the acquisition payment being halved, I'd say it was in Rockstar's best interest to actually create some of these actions that would make him like go a little bit emotional and mental at stage. And also, let's not forget one thing. Even though GTA 5 was like you need to buy a copy to play on these servers, right? To play the FiveM stuff. The FiveM stuff was still a baby from NTA. So it was still a creation from him to the game, sure. An IP that he didn't own, of course. But I'm guessing that he might want to take something in a certain direction, and Rockstar would want to take it on a different direction. And a lot of the times when you see that on games, comes to the fact that there is like a marketing department that their sole interest in the world in these 85 or 86 years that we traverse the timeline history of planet Earth, their only purpose here, their only legacy is to just make the most money as possible. They don't care about anyone. They don't care about players. They don't care about developers. They don't care about workers. They don't care about nothing. It's just a numbers game. And their goal is to just extract the maximum amount of game. Whenever they die and then they get buried 6 feet under, that's the legacy they want to carry. It's just like money. I wanted to get that out of my chest. So nepotism in the company led to, I'm going to guess this is nepotism. They're probably like a typo here. If you don't know, it's just when you give jobs to your friends and families and relatives and whatnot. Nepotism in the company led to some workers leaving. It was a continuous company tension of bad versus the good guys, which with each side believing they were in the right. Now, if it is tension between bad versus good, right? Goods are probably on the right. So I'm gonna guess like there was just like conflict from in between like two teams or something. And I'm gonna guess the people that were already in Rockstar and the people that were acquired by Rockstar. In the final communication to the founder, Take-Two stated that the actions impacted millions of players and damaged Rockstar's credibility, as they had promised that the acquisition would improve the service. And I'm guessing that it wasn't improving the service the way Rockstar had intended. The decisive factor was colleagues' reports of NTA's behavior being erratic, inappropriate, or hostile at times. Again, we're going back to what I just said about NTA probably having like a vision about the project or listening to players' feedbacks and Rockstar wanting something completely different. With the founder's departure, room was made for new changes within the team, including the hiring of new personnel, often friends of friends, nepotism at its best, as well as individuals from the competing platform Alt5 due to its similarities with FiveM. So yeah, there's actually another modding company as well that does something very similar to FiveM, except that FiveM is the most popular one. I think that's where most of the big streamers are. Other persistent conflicts have resulted in a negative work environment, prompting concerns to be escalated to management, with one of the resulting actions being firing long-standing developers. Which developers? We want to know this. CFX developers or Rockstar developers? It's a bit ambiguous here, or at least I wasn't able to pick it up. And as you might notice, like I'm reading a lot in between the lines, just tons of assumptions here. No one's going to care. Former CFX employee. We were basically treated like shit since the beginning. And in the end, they got rid of all of us by putting us in an extremely toxic environment where we had to suffer from major mismanagement, lies on a regular basis, a lack of any communication, and lack of internal transparency. So I'm going to guess that the good versus the bad was the Rockstar developers versus the FiveM or CFX developers, and then they weren't happy at all. And this is something that happens everywhere, just like toxic environments everywhere. Even despite all this, Rockstar still had an opportunity to handle it properly, but they didn't. So here's the thing. Big companies, Rockstars, Take-Twos, and whatnot, they don't give a shit. They don't give a shit. Anyone that it's not like super top high management is just like bottom of the barrel. We're like we're the low of everything. Whether we're writing Excel formulas, doing development, agents, customer support, wherever, we're the bottom of the barrel and we don't care. And they don't care about us. So there is never going to be there's probably a timeline out there, a universe out there where they do that. But in this universe, they couldn't care any less. Their goal is to make money, and we're nothing but numbers. And if we don't play along and we don't do whatever they think, they calculated that it's the best way to make money, they're just going to get rid of us, and then that's it. There's going to be like 100 people that would take the job with a, I don't know, 5, 10 an hour, euro an hour cut just to do it. So they go like, do you think this is toxic? Get the hell out. We get someone else. And it's sad. It's sad because like we have like a limited time around in this planet, and then that's how they choose to do it. But like, yeah, people are wired differently. What can we do? Former FiveM dev. Hiring activity was slow. I think at this point, Rockstar thought we were a bad purchase. NTA obviously is an S-rank talent when it comes to programming and such. I'm sure he's a legendary name within Rockstar itself, but I think he also pissed off some higher-ups when he complained about unfairly he was being treated on the CFX forums. I wonder if we can ever get a look into that. FiveM was almost gifted to the Rockstar because we wanted some management and some punitive measures for doing nothing alongside more advanced technical goals and ability. This doesn't make much sense. Let's read this again. FiveM was almost gifted to Rockstar because we wanted some management and some punitive measures for doing nothing alongside more advanced technical goals and ability. Okay, let's break this down. I think what they mean here was they believed that 20 million was nothing given to Rockstar, which off their payment. And they wanted management and punitive measures for developers that were doing nothing, that were just like cruising along, alongside nepotism, alongside more advanced technical goals and ability. So they get sold to a Rockstar, they get access to a little bit more tech, but in the end, this didn't really work out. Is that what I can take from this paragraph? If anyone is watching like 17 minutes into this, like let me know. Leave it on the comment section below. Just type down the timeline. Years before the acquisition, Rockstar was internally developing an experimental project aimed to rival FiveM. Former developers at CFX, preferring anonymity, geez, like, can we read? Starts again. Years before the acquisition, Rockstar was internally developing an experimental project aimed to rival FiveM. Former developers at CFX, preferring anonymity, informed Focal that the project started in 2021. It was shelved due to numerous factors. As of last year, the project has been revived and is currently under active development. I wonder if they acquire CFX and they go like, oh, so this is what we're supposed to be doing. We'll take it from here now, boys. Let's see, another former FiveM dev. I learned later that they were working on a FiveM killer inside of Rockstar. They were given 0 sources, 0 debug symbols, and 0 info. So I'm not sure what they were expected to succeed, how they were expected to succeed. So what they're saying here is they were giving 0 sources. I don't know which sources that is. Debug symbols is, let me see how if I can get this correctly. When you write down a program and then you need to compile it so that your computer understands it and then runs it. And at the same time, it generates debug symbols. So it's not something that you can actually understand. But if something goes wrong, you can get these debug symbols being translated back into language that we can read and understand. So if something bad occurs, if there's a bug or anything, you can look into these debug symbols and then just try to figure out where the problem is, right? So it's just something that is generated as you compile the program. Something bad happens, you use a debugger to just go in and try to read these debug symbols and go like, where's the issue? Zero info in sources. So I'm guessing like that they were just like giving nothing and they were told to reverse engineer from the get-go. The project failed and supposedly died 2 years before we joined. They were supposed to be advising and judging our team and reporting back to Rockstar on what we're like. What we were like. Obviously, they were not impressed. This led to the project being revived. This is super vague. I wish I could read between the lines of what's happening here, but it's super vague. The project is a part of Rockstar's broader vision for the future of GTA Online, which significantly involves user-generated content through new Rockstar's online proprietary modding tools. User-generated content, the best thing to video games, is not a novel concept in video games. Popular titles like Fortnite and Roblox, Minecraft comes to mind as well, are prime examples of UGC executed well. Contributes to the vibrancy of games by introducing new experiences and opportunities for both users and the company. Actually, this is something that I really, really enjoy. Is when you're playing a game and then you are able to form your own kind of games inside of, like, or you think of different ways to approach the game. Things that sometimes the developers don't even think, because like they're probably just too concerned about just getting the game working properly, just running without bugs or anything, or being balanced or something. And then you get like the community, which doesn't have to think on about all of those things, just creating new ways to approach the game. Absolutely love it. Oh, another great example of that, I believe it's Howling Abyss. So ARAM, all random, all middle. When I believe this was like a community, started like with a community where everyone just like make up like this form of game. So for those who don't know, League of Legends has like this big map, and then there's like 3 lanes, and then the community created a game mode where everyone would just go and use just the one lane, and then just do like pick up a random character, or you would assign a random character, you stick with it, and you were not allowed to do certain things like work back to buy items or something. And then eventually Riot just said like, okay, so we'll make this like an official game mode, and then just put it on. It's a bit of a derail there. Let's get back to this. So GTA Online already includes UGC, like the custom races and jobs created by the players, although not to the extent of UGC in Fortnite. Actually, I don't know much about like how the user-generated content works in Fortnite. I might need to check that at some stage. In early July, Tez2, another super awesome account. I'm going to see if I'll link that on the description below as well. Uncovered a new file within the GTA Online bottom dollar bounties, indicating that Rockstar may be developing a public mission creator that would enable players to create and engage with user-created content. I actually really like that, because one of the things that I really enjoy doing in GTA is heists. And it's just like a bunch of missions going on together, like setups and then whatnot. And then you have like a finale where you just go in for like the big heist. And if you get a chance to just create your own missions and then your own set or sequence of missions, it kind of like, it could extend even more the life of GTA 5. When GTA 6 comes out, I think that there's going to be like a few people, even myself included, with super old PCs that might not be able to run it straight away, unless it goes only for console and doesn't come in from PC. And maybe by that time, I should be able to run it. I should stop rambling and get back to the article. Rockstar is seemingly working on a public version of the mission creator. This new script was added with the bottom dollar bounties update, but it's currently empty. Let's have a pick. Test 2. Rockstar is seemingly working on a public version. So there's like public mission creator. Let's go. I'm all in for that. I would spend like a good bit of time doing this. So this is highly connected to the Rockstar, to the new Rockstar project. according to sources who like to remain anonymous, is expected to be integrated into GTA Online later this year in early fall, with the next-gen consoles following shortly. Although our own sources heard about it, we were unable to verify this. So I'm guessing that this is going to bring some longevity to the game. The possibility of bringing it to the consoles will also serve as a way to keep the game alive. Exactly. Both projects are being developed internally at Rockstar, not by the FiveM team. So I wonder if they didn't even integrate the team into the developers. They just said, like, we're going to buy you guys, but we're just going to keep calling you guys FiveM, and you just stick there and you do your own thing. We do our own thing. Reports indicate that a significant number of workers are dedicated to the project, with early discussions surfacing just under a year ago. It is speculated that the project may serve as a conversion tool from FiveM to the Rockstar modding platform. I wonder if there are going to be like different modes in GTA 6. One where you have like just the normal missions, like, or one where you have like the PvE stuff, the game, the normal game, the single player game. Then another one where you have GTA Online, and then another one on top of that where you have like the RP. I'm guessing that's what's going to happen. What their new project is exactly about isn't sure. We can only speculate that it will be Rockstar's approach to bringing UGC to all its consumers and having control over hosting, assets, and of course, microtransactions. It's always about money. Always. There is never a time where it's not about money. It's always about controlling this. This is 1.5 million on FiveM that you guys are not allowed to make. It is our IP. CFX team has historically struggled with poor leadership, an inefficient company structure with excessive roles and manipulative behaviors that persisted even after the company's acquisition. So wasn't Rockstar managing the team after? This led to a reshuffling of the hierarchy. Why am I having trouble reading that word? Which only resulted in further confusion and conflict due to nepotism. Oh, they spelled it correctly. And increased power for those in higher positions. CFX and FiveM seem to be in a stable position with a healthier work environment and new employees replacing those who departed. So it's only the FiveM that has been reshuffling employees. There seems to be no clear vision for FiveM's future, especially with the approaching release of GTA 6 and no clear plans for integration. So they bought the company. They have them like develop all these things for GTA 5 and GTA 6, and or maybe just GTA 5, and then they're going to be like, see ya. The company's primary focus appears to be on maintaining and improving FiveM. An anonymous employee has described the project as directionless, and everyone doing whatever. Nobody sat down and figured out the next step yet. So what I take from this is that Rockstar bought FiveM, has them developing things for the game, for just GTA 5, to keep the longevity and whatnot integrated, but not for GTA 6. Maybe just like taking a few ideas for GTA 6 and then that's it. I wonder if that's it. The uncertain future of FiveM may be influenced by Rockstar's bigger vision of UGC and their upcoming online modding platform, which is expected to launch later this year, and it will eventually replace the FiveM project. Goodbye, FiveM. Hello, UGC with pay stuff. Microtransactions. Rockstar Games has not responded to our request for comment, and they probably never will. So that is it. That's the article. Super interesting read. Like I said at the start of the video, I'm going to leave the link in the description below. Please go check, give them a click. And if you stay this long for some ungodly reason, I want to thank you. Thank you so much for hanging out this half an hour or so. Hope it was like a little bit entertaining. Good luck on your next match. Hope you have like a fantastic day, and I'll see you when I see you. Stay metal.